Hi there, my name is Abu and welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to look at WordPress, and this tutorial is going to be a beginner tutorial of WordPress. I'm going to take you from the very beginning, how to install WordPress, all the way up to arranging your pages and having your first look of your very first website using WordPress. In this tutorial, we are going to talk about pages and how to arrange your pages. We're also going to look at the appearance, which is the themes, how to add themes and which themes you should think about adding. We're also going to look at plugins, what plugins you need for your WordPress to start with, and how to set up your WordPress in the WordPress settings. To take this tutorial, you don't need prior knowledge of any programming or any WordPress knowledge. You don't really need that, because in this tutorial we're only going to look at WordPress. We are not going to touch any programming languages or any CSS, nothing like that. It's basically WordPress. So I hope you enjoy it, and without wasting any more time, let's jump in and get started. So before we get started with all these cool WordPress features, you need to host your WordPress website before you start editing your website. So if you have your own personal domain and hosting, that's perfect. You can follow along. But if you do not, then you have to buy a domain and buy hosting so that you can install WordPress in your hosting service, and then you can start editing your website. But if you don't have hosting and you haven't bought your domain yet, you can still follow along with me. You can head over to cloudaccess.net, or I'll leave the link to the description of this video. You can follow. They give you free hosting for 30 days with no strings attached. All you have to do is create an account with them and you can launch your free WordPress website. If you have any other ways of hosting a free website, please go ahead. So I'll just type in my website name. I'll just say program with Abu and I'll launch it. And you're gonna go down and select create a free domain. So my domain is gonna be programwithabu.cloudaccess.host. So I'm getting a subdomain from Cloud Access itself. So next, and then it's gonna tell you you're gonna have WordPress 5.8. That's what you want. And what do you plan to build? A brief description. So this is just a tutorial, and I'm gonna go next, and gives you the order summary, and you can see this is completely free. I'm not going to pay anything, and I head over to checkout, and under checkout you just have to look at if the details are correct, and yes, my order is for free, and I just scroll over down and agree to the terms, and I'm definitely not a robot, and I'll complete my order. And my order is complete. So what do I do next? I'm gonna go to my CCP or Cloud Control Panel, and over here I should see Program with Abu. This is my website that has been created. Its status is active, renewed after 30 days. So what I want to do straight away is log in to my WordPress backend. And as you can see here, it has loaded my very first website. And this is how the WordPress looks like. Clean, fresh, new WordPress. So this is just the dashboard. You can read through this if you want. And this one, I'm not going to waste any time there. But we're just going to go straight to looking at the settings, because that's the first thing we need to do, is set up this WordPress. So we're going to start with the general. And under general, this is the site title. So I can just say here, this is Program with Abu. This is my personal website. So I'll say, you can write anything you want, my personal website. And down here, yes, we need an administration email. And if I want anyone to register, I can decide this. That is if you're doing a tutorials website or anything like that, you can choose this option in case you have members or people who will be registering into your website at some point. So I'll just check that for now. I may not need it. I may, is fine. I'll just leave it at that. The time zone, you can select anywhere you are in the world. Currently I am in Uganda, so I will select Kampala. And the date format, I always prefer the date, then month and year, like that. You can choose any you want. The time format, I prefer this one. It's perfectly fine by me, and my week starts on Monday, so I'll save these changes. And still under settings, you can head over to writing. That was just the general setup. And under writing, there's really nothing much to change here, so you can just leave it as it is. So we're going to look at reading. So reading, this first part, we shall come back to setting up our homepage. For now, you can just leave it blank. We shall come back to this later after we've created a few pages. And under reading, I think we are done. You can just leave it as is. And these other ones, we shall still come to them, but I want us to come to permalinks. So under permalinks, this just means that how does your website display its links? For example, if you go to programwithaboo.cloudaccess.host / is it going to say home, or is it going to have some numbers like this, or is it going to have a year, date, month and year also, depending on what you want. But with site optimization, this is the best way to have your links. Google really loves this. Anything with numbers or dates, Google doesn't like that. So just choose post name and just save that. And we are done with the settings. So if you have the name of the website up here, you can click visit my site, and you should see your website with the very first initial look that it has straight out of the box. We haven't edited anything, but this is how your website should look like. Obviously, your name here will be different according to how you've named your website. So back to the dashboard, the next thing we're going to look at is the appearance, because this is the foundation of your website. How is it going to appear? And this is where the concept of themes comes in. So when you have over appearance, you can click on themes. Out of the box, WordPress activates a theme called 2021. This year is 2021. I'm really certain that next year there will be another theme called 2022. Hopefully they make another one. But as you can see, we have 2019 and 2020. So definitely next year, in case you're watching this video in 2022, you might see 2022. But don't you worry, this is not the theme that you're going to use. So we have so many themes. If you click on add new, there are so many themes out there, honestly. A lot of themes out there you can choose from. All of them are really good, but there are themes that come in out of the box. It has a few features for you to use, but there are some pro features that are hidden unless you purchase them. But in this tutorial, I will show you the best theme to use that you may not even need to purchase any pro features of that theme, because it gives you literally almost everything you need to customize your website. So two themes that you can do this with, which are free and have so many things that you can use. One of them is Astra. Astra is a very good theme, I'll be honest. And the other one is Ocean WP. This is also a very good theme. If you don't see these two themes here, you can just search for them here. Just type in Astra and it should load. And like you've guessed, Astra is the theme that we're going to use. So install Astra, and I'm going to activate it straight away. So after activating this theme, we notice we still have these other themes. So in order to save your server and to increase the speed of your website, you can only leave one of these themes so that your website can go back to that one in case Astra fails. So I'm just going to delete these other themes. I don't need them for now. And also this one, I'll delete it. Then I have only two. In case Astra fails, it will go back to 2019, which high chance is it will not actually fail. And according to Astra, you have some templates you can install, but this is something we shall also get back into. So you can just close this for now, and you can also close this for now. And when we head over to our website and reload the page, we should see a change in the whole setup. So this is how the Astra theme looks like out of the box without any customization. So before we come back to the Astra theme, we want to create a few pages, because if you've guessed already, up here is the navigation bar and we have a sample page. Now this sample page comes out of the box from WordPress, But now I want us to create our very first page. So head over to pages up here, and then all pages. You should see all the pages that you have in your website, and these come out of the box from WordPress. But now I want to create my own page. First things first, I'm going to create my home page. So add new page, and then here you can read through how to use this WordPress editor. We're not going to use that. I'm just going to give my page a title. I'm going to call it home, and I'm going to publish, and then publish, and my website is now active. It tells me here, and I'm going to create another page, about me. So add new page, about, and then publish, and I'm going to create my last page, and I'm going to call it contact. So add new page, and I'm going to call this contact. In case somebody wants to contact me, they can get my details from this page. So publish and publish. Perfect. So I'm going to head back, and now we have 3 pages that we have just created. So what are we going to do with these pages? So when I go back to my website and refresh the page, I should see my pages appear here. But these pages are not arranged the way I want, and I don't want this sample page to appear on my navigation menu. I didn't create it, so I don't want it there. I only want the pages that I created, and I want home to be the first, and then about, and then the contact page. So how do we arrange this? Now to do that, we come back to appearance, just as it suggests, and then we come down to menus. Now under menus, this is where you can create your primary menu for the entire website. You can create another menu for some specific part of your website or a specific page. You can create as many menus as you want. My menu is gonna be, I'm gonna call it the primary menu, and I'm gonna hit create. I can also say automatically add top level pages to this menu, and then I want to make it my primary menu, which means it's going to appear on every part of the website. So I'm going to create this menu, and the menu is created. So if I come back to my website and reload this page, what happens? My menu is gone. This is because I have created a menu, but I don't have any items in the menu. So as it's telling me here, add menu items from the column on the left, and the column is right here. So these are all the pages. I can click on view all to view every page that I have, and these are the pages that I have. So I want to add the home page, about page, and then the contact page, and I'm gonna hit add to menu. So the pages should appear here like that. And if you notice, I can move these pages around. For example, if I want the contact to be before the about, I can click and then drag it on top. As you can see, I don't know if you're noticing the grayed out, the dotted lines. And then if I want this contact to be a sub page inside the home page, I can drag it to the right, and then I put it there. So when I save this menu and back to my home page, I can reload this website, and I should see the home page, and contact is a sub page of the home page, just like as we set it up here. And then we have the about page, but I want the contact page to be on its own, so on the top level, but I want the contact page to be after the about page. So I'll drag it down and then save this menu again, back to the website, and then reload the page. I should see 3 pages. So I can go to the home page from here, I can go to about page from here, and I can go to the contact page from here. Don't worry about this search bar or recent posts. This is a sidebar that we shall look at, and I'll also show you how to remove this sidebar if you don't need it. Most times we won't really need it, and we can create our own sidebars, but don't worry about it for now. So back to the back end where we are editing our website. So we've created the menu. Very, very nice. Our menu looks nice up here. But what if you want to change things about the menu? For example, this background, if you want to remove this header here, maybe add an image or something. How do you do that? So back to the WordPress backend, and still under menus, we can now go to customize. Now when you click customize, this takes us to the theme itself. We're not going to customize the theme. So with Astra, as you can see here, the active theme is Astra, and I want to customize the homepage. I can click homepage and it will come back home. And on the left is what I was telling you about. Some themes don't give you so many options to customize when it's just free. But on Astra, we have so many options. We have the global setup. You can change the typography, which means it's the text, the font on the body, the line height of the text, the font family if you want. For now, I'll just leave this as it is, but you can play around with this any way you want. The colors, you can play with the colors the way you want. I'll leave it as the default. And I have the buttons. You can also change this as much as you want. I'll just leave the default as it is. I'm comfortable with that. And I have the header builder. Now this is our point of interest. So when I click on the header builder, as you can see, we have 3 parts of the website that we can edit. This is just on the header. So the site logo is this one that we have here. We can edit it if we want. And we have the site title. Obviously this is Program with Abu, the one you're seeing. So I can decide to remove it if I want. But for now, I'm just going to leave it there because I don't have a logo for my website yet. And then I have the site icon. Now the site icon is the one that appears. If you notice on like Google, for example, if you open Google and on the tab, you should see a small G right on the tab on the left of the Google tab. So this is the site icon. You can also add this if you want. Point of interest also, we can edit the whole row or we can add widgets to the specific row. For example, I have my site logo on the left. This middle one has 3 sections. It has the first section and the middle section and then the last section over here. So I can decide to bring my menu in the middle section and put it there. You should notice a change. Now my menu has moved in the middle. And I can decide, you know what, I want my site title to be over here. Drag it to the right, you should see a change. Okay, so you can play around with this and find the perfect match for what you're looking for. I can also decide, you know what, I need to make this background another color. So I'll click on the settings of the menu and I can add it a height. You see it changes. I can reduce the height, but I'll just leave it as default. You can click on that to leave the height as the default. And I can go to the designs now and I'll decide the bottom color. I can change this to any color that I want. I can make it red. You should see a red now changing at the bottom. I can make it to maybe purple a little bit. If my theme is purple, I can change this to purple, but I'll leave it as default, the gray. And I can change the background color. Notice the background changing. I can change this background to any color that I want. Could be a bit gray, could be something like that. I'll just leave it as the default also. I'm fine with that, but you can change according to what you want. But I'll just leave mine as the default. So I can also change the site logo. I can close it like that. And if I click on the plus button, I should see many options. So I'll just bring back site title and logo again. I should see Program with Abu. Very nice. And I can also change the primary menu. Click on the primary menu and I can come. This is the general setup. I can increase the width if I want, but this is the sub menu. But since I don't have a sub menu, I can't really see these changes. So I'll leave it to the default and I'll go to the design and I can change the text color. I can decide, you know what, I want my text to be red. I think red is a good color for the text on my menu. Red on white is also, it looks really nice a little bit. So I'll just leave it as something like that. Blood red is good for me. So there are 3 things you can do with this text color. 1, the color that appears before anyone clicking it, and then the hover. So hovering means when you hover your mouse pointer over that specific part or that specific text, and I want that color to be, I'm gonna have it at, say, green. Green is fine with me. So if I hover over home, you should see green. About, you should see green. and I will have the same color for the active link. So I'll just copy this, and on the active link I'll paste it here. The active link means if I'm on the home page like it is right now, this is the home page. You see home page is green. If I went to about page, I should see green on the about page. So I want to edit the home page. I'll come back home, and then we have a background. So what background do I want? Background is self-explanatory. You can put any background that you want on your header. I'll just leave this as the default, and then this is also the hover. When I hover over my header, I get a background over that specific text. So if you want it this way, you can also have that. And when it's active, you can also have it just like the way you see home is active, and I have it like that. But I don't like this setup. If you like it, please go ahead, or if it's the need for your website, you can leave it at that. And that's how you edit your menus. And if I want to add a site title, I can add it, but I want up here to put my social links. So for example, I will come and say at the end here, I want to put my social links. So I'll click on this, but again, this is the upper part of the header. As if you notice up there, the links are somewhere on top. And again, obviously I can edit my links. I can give it a specific color. I can show label if I wanted to, but this might not appear really nice. But if you want, you can leave it at that. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. I can show the labels, and you can add as many social icons as possible. WhatsApp, from Vimeo to Telegram. If you have YouTube, you can add as many as you want. I'm comfortable with this, but I want to change the background color though. I don't want my primary menu to have the same color as this one. So I'll basically make this menu black. So I'll change this background and I'll just bring it down all the way to black. But you notice that my site icons are a little bit colored out because they're a little bit gray in color. So I'll come back to my social icons and I'm going to change the design, and I'm going to come all the way down to the color. So the icon color, I want it to be white like that. Perfect. And I can change my hover color. I want it to be a little bit of red, and this is perfect for me. And there are many other options down here. The label color, you can change it. The background color, you can change it. I'll just leave it as it is for now. You can make these changes according to your own personal needs. So when I'm done, I publish up here. Click on publish, and back to my website. I can reload this page, and I should see Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when I hover over my links, I should see the desired behavior, and this is exactly how I designed it. And we are going to come back to this logo in a few moments, but back to the customization. This is where you can also build your footer. So I'm done with this header, and I can come and build my footer. Now that's the header builder. I have the footer builder. Now the footer builder, for now we have copyright 2021 program with a boo powered by Astra WordPress theme. I don't want it to appear like that, so I'll go to the copyright section, and I see everything here, but I just want to remove powered by the theme title. I don't want this, so I'll remove it, and I have it as copyright 2021 program with a boo. This is all I want. And you can add, of course, obviously you can even add a few other things. For example, if I wanted to add a menu, I can come and add a footer menu, and I can pick a specific menu that I want to add on this part. So I'll click on menu, and then I can configure my footer menu from here. So I'll click configure footer menu, and then we have the primary menu, secondary menu, off canvas menu, logged in account menu, but I want the footer menu. So for the case of this tutorial, I'll just have my primary menu as my footer menu. So when I select that, I should see home, contact, and about. And I can come back to edit this all the way back to footer builder and the footer menu, and I decide how I want it. Now I can have it stacked so that it's one after the other and it has a behavior of a footer. Since I'm only going to have one thing on my footer menu, I'll just put it in the middle. And you can add as many as you want. You can change the color of the footer from here. You can change the design of the footer from here, the amount of spaces taken, how many columns do you want. You can change all of that from there. But for now, I'll just leave it as one, and I'm gonna publish this. And we are done with the theme design. And there are many other options of the theme. Obviously, you can talk about the sidebar, the blog page, the breadcrumbs, and the menus. But for this tutorial, I just want to show you the most important parts that you need to edit. All of this, you can look into them and do some small research, and then you can see what exactly they do. But for now, I'm done with the menu and I'm done with the theme. So back to the WordPress, I can just click on this and close this. So back to my WordPress, the other thing I want to show you is how to edit the pages. So when I come back to the pages, I can click on edit the home page. If you notice, editing with this Gutenberg editor, this is the WordPress editor itself, it can be a little bit tricky. I don't have any options. I don't have many options to work with. So it can be a little bit tricky. So we are gonna bring in a plugin called Elementor. Hence, we're gonna start talking about plugins. So what are plugins? Basically, plugins in anything, right? In anything that you're doing, it could be WordPress, it could be some other technology. If it's a plugin, this is something that you bring into your application and it adds more functionality to it. So for example, I want to bring a plugin that's gonna help me edit the pages. So I'm gonna go to the plugins here. I can click on this. So we have already installed plugins that come out of the box with WordPress. But first one that I need to add in Elementor. So this is a page builder. You can look at the plugins that are very popular, like the classic editor. It has about 5+ million active installations. That's a very popular plugin. We have Jetpack for security, if you want to backup, if you want some speed, and many more. There are so many plugins you can use. But for now, I want to bring in Elementor plugin. That's how you spell it. And now we have Elementor page builder. So, and it has about 5 million active installations, meaning it's very popular. So this popularity is important because in case you have any problem, it will be very easy for you to find a solution, because in the forums, high chance is that you're not the only person with that problem. So if you're getting any plugin, try to find a plugin that has many active installations. So for this case, we're gonna go with Elementor, and then I'm gonna activate it. So after activating Elementor, I should see Elementor appear over here. So I have some settings I can do. I have all of this, but we're not gonna get into any of these settings and all of this with Elementor. We're gonna go straight to the pages and use Elementor to build our website. Onto the home page, I click on edit, and you should see this big blue button that says edit with Elementor. So I'm gonna click on edit with Elementor, and now we're on the Elementor page builder. So on the right, we have everything we need for Elementor. But first things first, I would suggest you do a couple of configurations. The most important one is the colors. So if you have some colors that you wish to use all over your website, obviously you have your color palette ready. You have your primary color, your secondary color, and your accent color ready. You can head over to this hamburger button and go to site settings, and then right on top you can see global colors. So when you click on global colors, you should see the primary color that is set up by WordPress by default is this blue, and then secondary color is a bit gray, and we have the text color and we have the accent color. So if you have your own personal color preferences, this is where you can change that from. For example, maybe my primary color, I want it to be this dark red. This is my primary color, and my secondary color, I want it to be red, matches with a little bit of blue. Okay, so I have this dark blue as my secondary color. My text color, I want it to be a little bit of very dark purple, somewhere like that. And then I have my accent color. I want to have it as a little bit of a light color, so I can have it as this green, or I can have it as yellow. It's perfect by me like that. And then I can update that. So I'm gonna go back to the editor. Now that I have my colors ready, you're gonna see in a moment why we need those colors. So before we do anything, we have sections of a website, like the hero section, and then we have the other section, maybe a little bit of about yourself on the homepage, and then down maybe you have something like what the testimonies from other people, something like that. So we're going to start with the hero page. I'm only going to try to design the hero page so that I show you all these concepts of Elementor that you can use. So first things first, I want to add a section. You can add it in two ways. I can click on this button and it shows me the section style. So I want a section with 2 columns, so I'll select that. And I want you to see how the primary colors come in. So when I click on this, you can see edit section, or you can right click and click on edit section. So anything that I do on the left, on this column over here, is going to affect this section. So for example, I want to add a color. So background color, I can come to classic. You can add an image if you want, but I'm going to add a color. I can add a color this way, where I just try to select a color the way I want from here. But since we added our primary colors, I can click on this global colors and I can select a color that I want. This is very, very easy, and there's going to be uniformity all over your website. Other than coming to choose a color from here and then you go somewhere else, maybe you have another section, for example, but then you want to add a color to this section, but you can't really find that specific red color. Maybe you click something that is a bit darker like that. So just with that, you can see your website is not really uniform. The red is not as uniform as you want it to be. So on this first one, I'm going to select my primary red color, and you can see, so if I'm adding anything else, maybe another section of maybe 3, and I want to have this background to have the same red, I can just come and background type and I can select the red, and it's going to be the same exact color. So that's the advantage of using global colors. Okay, back to this. Now we have a few options. Since this is going to be my hero section, I can decide on a few things. First and foremost, I can decide on the minimum height. This default means that if I add any other widget on this, it will only take the height up to that widget. For example, if I had a title, if you want to switch up, you can click on these 9 buttons up here. If I had a title here, and let me say, for example, my title, the color is going to be maybe blue so that I can see what's happening. So back to this section again. If you want to edit the section, you click on these dots, or you can right click and click on edit. Now I'm back to the section. So if your height is at default, meaning that it will only take the size of that specific widget that's there. If you had 5 widgets, it's definitely going to adjust until the 5th widget. But if I want it at minimum height, for example, I can give it like this is 400 pixels as the height. So it doesn't matter what you're going to put in here, but the minimum height is going to be 400 pixels. Obviously, if you add more things onto this, it's going to stretch itself further. And then I can also have it as fit to screen. That means when someone visits your website, your hero page will fit the whole entire screen. So they won't see anything else other than the hero section of your website. So you can decide on what you want. For this example, I'm going to keep on my minimum height. So this is what I have. And then I have other options I can do. For example, if I want the margin of this text from the left is perfect with me. But if you want to add, like change a few margins of the text, you can come to advanced, still under the same section settings. And you can notice that you can adjust the margin from top and bottom, or you can adjust the padding. The difference is that the margin is outside of the section and the padding is inside of the section. Let me show you. If I increase this You can notice that it's moving from the top also. You won't really notice the left and right because this is stretched out, but I don't want to change this. I just want to move the text here. So I'll adjust on the paddings, and you can notice the link. This means that it's linking the values together. If I change one, everything changes, if you notice. But I don't want this behavior. I only want to adjust the left and right. So I'll unlink them, and you can see everything is now 0. So I can adjust the left side just to show you. You can see add text is moving, and it's having a padding to the left of about 40 pixels if I left it there. So that's how you can adjust these sections according to what you want. But I'll just leave it at default for now. Now that is the section. What if I want to edit this header, the title? I can click on this. You can see edit heading. Now anything that I do here is for the heading. For example, I can change the font. Initially the font is Roboto. That is the default WordPress font, but I can change it to anything, maybe Rubik, for example. So I can have this as Rubik. See, the text has changed. The size, I can take the size to maybe, I can have it at 30. That's good with me. And the weight meaning that you can have it at bold, or you can have it at very thin, but I'll leave it at about 600. That's enough. That's comfortable with me. And then you can change, of course, if you want it in italic, if you want it in, I'll just leave it at normal for now. Text decoration, if you want it underline, I'll just leave it like that for now. And I am okay with this. Now, if I'm going to use this title style on my entire website, I want my entire website to have this specific title style. Rubik, font family, and then I have 30 size, and then I have a weight of 600. I can add this to my global fonts. Let me show you. So you can click on the plus button, and I'm going to give it a name. I'll give it maybe site title. So I'm going to create a font called site title. So anywhere on my website, when I add a title, for example, I'll click on this again, and I'm going to add a header here. Maybe call it second header, and I'm going to change its color. For example, I'll keep it at secondary. Same thing, it's okay. Maybe change it to this one here, the accent color. But then this title style, the font is not the same as this one, and I want all my headers to be the same. So when I'm editing this one, I can come and click on the global fonts, and I have here site title. So when I click on this, it will change to exactly what this is, the text size, the font family, and everything. So if I click back on this, anything that changes here will be editing this, obviously. But then if you realize that in this header, I can just delete this. I really didn't need this one. Just right click and delete. And if you notice, I have an element here. I have the title, but then I also have what is holding the title. That is the column itself. So I can also edit the column. When I click here, now I'm editing the column. For example, I want to give this column a different color, maybe this yellow. And as you can see, this section has its color. This column over here has its own color. And then I have a title inside a column. So for example, this title, I can say the content, welcome to my website, like that. It's fine by me. And you can write anything you want, obviously. I can put it at the center if I want, or to the right, but I want it to the left, which is fine by me. And I can also change something here under typography. The transformation, I can make it uppercase, I can make it lowercase, I can make it capitalize, I can leave it at normal, doesn't matter. So I'm going to leave it at capitalize, like that. So it doesn't really matter what I type here at content. I can even put this also with the lowercase w, but this will transform it to capitalize. Capitalize means the first letter is capital on every word. So after this, on the right, I want to bring in a YouTube video. For example, I have my YouTube channel. I want to advertise my YouTube channel. So on the right, back to the widgets of Elementor, there is something called video here. So click and drag it all the way. and this is going to be my video. So how do you add a video? This is from Elementor, obviously, but if you want to add your own personal video, so I'm gonna go back to my channel and grab one of my videos, icon list, and right click on this, copy this video URL, and come back to Elementor and paste it there, and I should see my video appear there. So you can add your own video, any that you want. That's how you add a YouTube video. So the sources are many. If you want to self-host, if you want YouTube, Vimeo, and whichever one you want. And there are options here if you want it to autoplay, show controls. I'll just leave it at default for now. So this is my website. I'm advertising my website channel. So I can create now a button here that says go to the YouTube channel. So that brings in the buttons. So I can come to button, put my button down here in this column. You can see the blue line appearing. So that's my button over there. And I can give it a name, but first things first, it's not really fitting well with this yellow. So I'm going to change the button background. So I'm going to come to style, and the color here, I'm going to change it to this one. This looks much better. And when I hover, what happens when you click on hover? So when I hover over this button, I want to show the secondary color. So as you can see, when I hover, it's switching to secondary color. Or maybe I can put my hover to the primary color and it comes to red. This looks much better. That behavior is fine by me. You can add an animation, maybe shrink. When someone hovers, it shrinks a little bit. That's a good animation for me too. So I'll leave it at that. So when I come back to button, I can click here, visit channel. So on the link here, back to my channel again, and I'll just go over to my YouTube channel and copy the link up here and back to my WordPress and paste the link here. And now if someone clicks on this button, they'll be redirected to my YouTube channel. You can add a few settings here. If you wanted to open in a new window, you can click on this so that someone still stays in your website even though they click on the button. I like that behavior. I'll leave it at that. And the alignment, you can keep it in the middle or to the right. I'll just keep it down on this other side, and I want it a little bit medium, a bit bigger is better. And you can add a few stylings if you want. You can add a border radius. Let me just show you. If I put a border radius of 10, you should see from every corner it has a 10, like the edges are smoothened out a little bit, which is a good behavior. So I will update this. So when I come back to my website and I refresh this, I should see a whole new look of the website. Voila, this is very beautiful. So I just edited a few parts of my website, but you still have the about page to edit and you still have the contact page to edit. So with this knowledge that I've just given you, you can continue editing your website to the exact needs that you want. You can add another button, you can add an image carousel, you can add in all of that, and so many more. So after creating our pages, we have to decide which one is going to be displayed as our homepage. So when a visitor goes to programwithabu.com, they should be redirected to one of the pages that you want to set as your homepage. In this case, obviously, I have my homepage that I created already and did some edits to it. Now, if you go to your website currently and you redirect or click the homepage, you will see there's a post here. And this post comes out of the box from WordPress after installing WordPress. So if we went back to settings and under reading, you should see an option, your homepage displays something. So as it stands is the latest post. But we want to change this behavior and give it a static page. So I can select my page, which is the home page, and I'll save these changes. And when I go back to my website, and now if I click Program with Abu, and I should see my home page, just like the one that we created. And this is now going to be displayed as the home page, and now the user can navigate to other pages, and this is much better than having to look at the latest post. After setting up your static page to be your home page, we need to do one more setup, that is adding a caching plugin. So caching means that if If you don't have a caching plugin on your website might be a little bit slow in a way, loading images or loading pages. But a caching website, just as it stands a cache, once the user is in the website, it preloads all these pages for them, and then when they navigate to the about page or to the contact page, this page and its contents is already loaded to the browser, and what will happen is the browser just displays these pages other than having to call this page all the way from the server. This means that the loading speed of the website will be faster and the experience for the user will be very, very good. So when we go to plugins, you can go click on add new plugin, and you just go and search for a caching plugin. Just search for cache. It should load all the caching plugins, but one of the best free caching plugins is this one here, Lightspeed Cache. So just install this one and then activate it, and that's it. Once it's activated, you can just go ahead. If you want, you can have a look at all the settings, but the initial setup is also perfect enough. So this should increase the speed, the loading speed of your website, and it should have a good experience for the user and they'll keep coming back. So for this video, I'll leave it here. I hope you have fun. In case you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below in the comment sections, and I'll try to reply to your comment as fast as I can. But for now, this is the end of this video, and I hope you understood WordPress and how awesome and interesting WordPress can be. So until the next tutorial, I'll leave it there, and I hope you have fun in your next project. See you on the next tutorial.